Our top story this half hour, the civil war in Syria. Fierce fighting is reported within a few miles of Damascus, the capital, and rebel forces are said to be trying to capture the city's international airport. Margaret Brennan has just returned from covering Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's trip to Ireland, where she discussed Syria with her Russian counterpart. And Margaret, good morning to you. Tell us about the fighting to seize the airport.
Well, it's really heating up, Rebecca. It's raging inside the capital as rebels try to seize the airport and cut off the regime's supplies. The Russians, one of Bashar al-Assad's few remaining allies, and U.S. officials do not believe that Syrian president can survive this war. That is why there is this new diplomatic push to prepare a new Syrian government. Secretary Clinton and the Russian foreign minister agreed to revive a roadmap for a political transition. It calls for elections that include candidates from the Syrian opposition. Yesterday, Secretary Clinton acknowledged, though, it's going to be hard to do that while the violence is still raging.
Margaret, what's the next step in the diplomatic efforts to resolve this matter?
Well, this weekend, the UN envoy to Syria is going to meet with senior U.S. and Russian officials to push along the negotiations. On Wednesday, Secretary Clinton will meet with the Syrian Opposition Council at a summit in Morocco. Officials familiar with those talks say that the U.S. will recognize them as the representatives of the Syrian people. So that will allow the U.S. to funnel money and aid through the new political structure in order to help the rebels create a new government.
Margaret, is the U.S. prepared to provide weapons to the Syrian rebels?
Not likely.
No.
U.S. diplomats are advising them on how to create a military command, but they're not likely to give them arms. Officials are concerned that they could fall into the hands of extremists, including an al-Qaeda affiliate that is active within Syria. So the U.S. is most likely to increase aid. They've already given $125 million in humanitarian support and delivered it inside of Syria.
And we've seen things like that happen before. Margaret Brennan, thanks so much for joining us.